Hey, happy Monday. It's your afternoon girlfriend, Yvonne Daniels. Hope you're having a great day. It is beautiful outside. And man, do we have something exciting to talk about today. I have got the beautiful Rhonda Alexia Webb right here with me. Hey, how you doing, Miss Webb?
Hi, I am so excited to be here.
Man, I'm so excited to have you here because what we're going to talk about is something that's going to be going on this Saturday. It's the fifth annual KIDposium. This is an entrepreneurship conference for kids. Okay. I mean, there's so much waiting for your child if you have a child with an entrepreneurial spirit like I do. I have a 10-year-old who's always trying to find a way to make a buck.
Love
So,
it.
yes. So, Rhonda, tell us about this great event that's going to be happening on Saturday.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Yes, you're
Well,
welcome.
it is the fifth annual Kids Rule Now KIDposium.
Mhm.
And I have to tell you, I love the name myself. I wish I could take credit for KIDposium, but actually, a friend of mine came up with that name as I was explaining what I was doing.
Okay.
So I'll just start from the very beginning. The Kids Rule Now KIDposium is an all day conference experience for
Mhm.
kids ages 10 to 16 and their parents.
Okay.
I really love the idea of having parents and kids attend together because,
Mhm.
as I said before, it's two in one. So, parents have their own set of session speakers throughout the day, and the kids have their own separate set of sessions and speakers as well. So, is it okay if I just kind of run down what the Kidposium looks like?
Please do.
Okay, it'll be kind of easier to convey it and give people a real good image of what to expect. So it runs from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Saturday, October 15th at Saginaw Valley State University. We always start out with a general session. My general session speaker is phenomenal, Phil Ike. And I think anyone who is in Saginaw and beyond is familiar with Phil Ike. So he's doing the general session, and he will actually present his general session to both kids and adults.
Okay.
Right after the general session, we get into the breakout sessions. Now, the breakout sessions is where the meat of the conference is. For our kids, we have four speakers, but
Okay.
it's two for each session. So, Brian Pruitt and Brandon Webb have a combined session, and they're really going to be giving kids instructions on being able to communicate more effectively.
Oh, wow.
One thing, communicate as an entrepreneur specifically.
Okay.
One thing that I've had the opportunity to do is I've interacted with over 50 young entrepreneurs in our region. And one thing that I think sometimes they're kind of apprehensive about is just talking,
Mhm.
even just talking to someone across the table.
Yeah.
So I really came up with the idea of having a session that will boost their confidence, give them the tools to speak with confidence.
Yeah.
And Brian Pruitt is handling that session. And then the next session there with Brandon Webb, he's a videographer, editor, and he just has a knack for being able to produce, oh, wow, phenomenal
Uh,
movies. So they'll actually be shooting a movie.
oh,
And in the
wow.
process of shooting the movie, they're using these communication skills that they picked up with Brian.
Wow.
So that is one full session. And then the next session that you can actually choose from is the session with Sierra Warren of Delicious Sweets and
Mhm.
Latrice Goodwine of Girl What's in Your Purse, the upgrade experience. And just recently, she's opened up an all state insurance agency. They will be talking about starting a business from
Mhm.
scratch
Okay.
and also how to grow a business once you've got it up and running. So with Brandon and Brian, it's getting ready to be able to make the sale.
Right.
And with Latrice and Sierra, it's all about being able to start a business and just know the ins and outs and understand what you have to do as a kidpreneur to help it to grow. On top of that,
And there's more.
You said it. And there's more. They will also have lunch in the Saginaw Valley State University Marketplace, buffet lunch, and that is just an event all by itself.
Right.
And then after lunch and towards the end of the day, they will have the opportunity to hear Gabby Goodwin. Gabby Goodwin is a 15-year-old CEO
Wow.
from South Carolina. She's been an entrepreneur for 8 years. She co-invented this double-faced barrette. If you go online and just put in Gabby Goodwin, you'll find out all about her. And I'm excited that she has the opportunity to come and share her story, share her insight to be able to help up and coming entrepreneurs. Now, believe it or not, Yvonne, that's just what the kids get. The adults get a completely separate conference experience.
Wow.
And the speakers for the adults are Sheila Little of Shaping Solutions and Alex Jones. And Alex Jones has her own facial studio, and she is a
photographer, and she is
with Dakota Images, yes, and also with Stay Dumb as far as being physically fit.
Yeah.
So it's really a full day experience.
You know, not only is it a full day, but this is packing so much power because you've got something. First of all, you are giving the kids this experience, and children, their minds are, that's when we dream. We have all our imagination is just at full tilt, and so this is the prime time to get all this information to them, because they're like, I can do anything, I can be anything. At this age, that's what they're thinking, that's what they feel, and it is so true. By the time you get a little older, fear sets in, so you may have some more challenges, but this is the time to get them. And then to have also the experience for the parents, because when you get a child with that kind of imagination and you're giving it fuel, and then you get parents and you give that child that support of the parents, because man, you got some power right there. So I am so excited. This is so awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm excited too. And you know what? You brought up a valid point when you talk about the fact that kids have just massive imagination. And I have to be honest with you, there are ideas that kids have come up with that are astounding. That if you put that same idea in the mind of an adult, they would shoot it down. So no, I don't have the contacts, I don't have the money. The kids, let me give you this example, and I love referring to this particular young entrepreneur. In 2019, my organization had our very first Christmas bazaar. One of the entrepreneurs launching her business, she had the name of her business on a piece of paper towel. And I loved it because I'm sure in her head, she was thinking, I don't have the money to buy an expensive sign with my business name on it. I'm going to use what I have, a piece of paper towel. And she continues to be in business to this day.
Wow.
And I use her as an example because once we get into this adult mindset that we have to have everything lined up, everything has to be perfect. Many times adults don't start businesses for those reasons. And with kids, it's like, you know what? I got a table, I got a few things to sell, I got a piece of paper towel, I'm gonna write the name of my business on, and I'm good to go. And I love that. I love it.
So this is what you're gonna get with the Kids Rule Now KIDposium, the 5th annual. I can't believe this is the 5th one, and I'm just now knowing about it, but no more. So now that are watching, and if you know someone that needs to be here, please share this video, have them come back and watch it. All right, so now we've got to get into the meat of it, as far as if someone wants to attend, they want their child to attend, they want to attend, they can go to the website that's scrolling across. Is that correct?
That is correct. kidsrulenow.org.
Okay.
And Yvonne, I have to admit, I wanted to do something special specifically for this time with you. Once they make it over to the website, there is a particular button that I have reserved for group registrations. The regular ticket price is $35 for an adult, and youth must be accompanied by an adult for a number of reasons, specifically because it is at Saginaw Valley State University. And I really want to make sure every youth or child there has a responsible adult on the premises as well. But what I've done is I'm opening up the group fee to anyone. So technically the group price is for groups of a minimum of 10, and they would get $10 off. But in this case, for a limited amount of time until that link is off the page, tickets are $25.
Okay. Cool.
And that link looks a little bit different from my regular KIDposium link, meaning that they would actually have to put in the amount. And that's because I'm really offering this outside of the normal fee of $35. But I have to tell you right now, I cannot imagine someone not taking advantage of a full day conference for $25.
And and let me tell you too, you got some heavy hitters. You got some folks that are, that are in it, they're doing it. They're not new to this. They're true to this. They're successful. And let me tell you too, and I know this is open to all children, anyone that wants to be a part of this, but especially for children of color, representation matters. And, having grown up, seeing someone that was my skin color doing now, what I wanted to do then, it meant a lot to growing up in the South, So when I graduated from high school, I knew what I wanted to do. And I was like, yeah, I can do it, because I saw someone that looked like me doing it on a regular basis. So to have these people that you have in place here, representation matters. And our children especially need that. So thank you for that. For sure.
You are absolutely right. And I'm glad that you brought out that point. And that's one thing that makes me so excited about Gabby. And I just can't wait. Sometimes I'm like a fan with these young entrepreneurs that I bring in from out of state. It's like I'm your biggest fan. But it's because I'm so proud of them for stepping out. And I particularly want kids and adults to hear Gabby's story and to see her face to face. And I have to tell you, she's from South Carolina, which means I had to really invest in her being here in a big way. But it's worth it, because I want kids to have, and I'll use this expression I'm sure people can relate to, I want them to have the advantage. I want them to have the advantage. So many times when we think about entrepreneurship, we think about, I get to make money. You get to make a life.
Yeah, right.
You get to make a life. One thing that I love about entrepreneurship when it pertains to kids is that they learn valuable life skills that they will not learn at school, and they will not learn these necessarily at home.
For sure.
Because when you start interacting with commerce and money, you learn responsibility, leadership, accountability. There's just so much packaged into the benefit of entrepreneurship. And Yvonne, you can probably tell I could just go on and on.
Well, and something I was thinking too, this is a great way to serve your community, because when we talk about the imagination of a young child, but when they come up with solutions, to solve problems, for people, for the community, that's a way of giving back too. So you talk about, you're going to make money. We all need to make money because, money makes the world go round. But to be able to come up with solutions that will help people, that will solve problems for people, that, to be able to serve in that capacity too, that's invaluable, So.
Yes.
All right. So let me ask you too, and you kind of answered a little bit. What is your goal for this conference? Now, you talked about, you wanted children to have the advantage. So what else do you see? What is your goal besides that for this conference?
My main goal, and I would have to say that it's not only for the conference, but it pertains to everything that I'm about and everything that Kids Rule Now is about. I earnestly, sincerely, and honestly want to expose as many kids as possible
Mm-hmm.
to the I don't want to say mindset, skill set,
Okay.
to the skill set of entrepreneurship,
Mm-hmm.
because I know for a fact
Mm-hmm.
that they will have a successful income. I mean, excuse me, outcome.
Yeah.
Income, yes, but
Yes.
outcome.
Right.
Kids who are exposed and who engage in entrepreneurship
Mm-hmm.
always, and I guarantee you this, they always have a successful outcome. And that's because, going back to what I said earlier, these valuable life skills, you cannot put a monetary price or amount on a life skill.
For
You
sure.
can't.
You can't.
So, the outcome that I would like to have at the end of the day
Huh?
is that kids come out knowing it's possible. It's possible for me to start a business,
Mm-hmm.
to run a business, to make money, to open up a checking account, to have a savings account, to start making integral decisions regarding my business. Do I want this in this color or that in this size?
Mm-hmm.
It's just so much, but I want them, and I want to just keep stressing them. I want them to come out knowing it's possible for me to have control over my finances. It's possible that I can come up with an idea
Yeah.
to make money and to fund my life. And of course, it starts out small. It
Yeah.
starts out small. They may have one product and
Mm-hmm.
then expand to a business that has 25, because I've seen that too.
And it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter what class you come from, what your background is. It doesn't matter, because God has given us all like imaginations, and for children, that is just so awesome. All right, I can go on and on like you too. All right, so here's the thing. Once again, this is for youth ages 10 to 16. This is the
Correct.
Kids Rule Now KIDposium this Saturday. It's going to be at the SVSU, Saginaw Valley State University.
Yes.
Once again, you can go to kidsrulenow.org to register. And she's got a special link if you're watching this that you'll be able to take $10 off. So that is absolutely wonderful. Well, this is the 5th one. Man, I see this. I cannot even imagine the 10th one from now. And
Yes.
the entrepreneurs that are coming up through this program, because I know we've got kids now that may not be entrepreneurs yet, but they're going to be after this conference, and to see them 5-10 years down the line is going to be awesome. So this is that. Real quick, and I don't want us to go on and on for hours, because we could. I want to know though, this is the 5th one. So what was the catalyst, or what was it that caused you to even put this whole thing together, the very first one 5 years ago? What was it?
Wow, I am so glad that you asked that. The idea for this really came as a result of a curriculum that I created called I'm the Boss Now. And the curriculum is a tool that parents, educators of any level, can use to teach kids kindergarten through 5th grade about entrepreneurship. So I had I'm the Boss Now already packaged, already ready, but then it was really on my heart to do something where I could offer an opportunity for kids to put their hands into entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm.
And I started the nonprofit organization Kids Rule Now. But I knew that I needed to show kids examples of entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm.
So from 2016 until now, the KIDposium was designed specifically to acquaint kids with the idea of entrepreneurship. And year by year, I would always add a little higher level of entrepreneurship involvement, which leads me to the 2022 KIDposium being 100% entrepreneurial.
Wow.
So to answer your question, to make it a little more simplified, the whole impetus behind the Kids Rule Now KIDposium was to expose kids to entrepreneurship. And to be honest, Yvonne, I knew I wouldn't be able to start the very first one being 100% entrepreneurial, because the vibe, the energy for kid entrepreneurship just wasn't really alive during that time. So
but now.
You said it. You said it. Because there's so many entrepreneurs just here in our city,
Yeah.
young entrepreneurs.
And you know, and I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I can't even imagine. Like I said, I have a 10-year-old. And you probably the same way. At 10, I never even my own business. I never would have even thought of anything like that. So these kids today, they've got that opportunity, and you know, they have the imagination, but they need the structure. They need someone to show them how to do it. And so this is what you're doing. So
Yes. And you know what? I love it. I get so much energy from just interacting with young entrepreneurs. I absolutely love it. And I just want parents, and see, my appeal is to the parents. It's not to the kids. Because there are so many kids that I've met that I know have the energy, the creativity. They have the tools on the inside to be able to operate a successful business. But I'm appealing to parents right now. Trust me, your child does not have to be a genius to be an entrepreneur. Your child can literally launch a successful business with one idea. And it starts there.
that's it.
One idea. I promise you. One simple idea. But I really need parents to come on board, to go to kidsrulenow.org, look over all the speakers, grab that $10 discount so that you can open up this door of ownership. And that's what I call entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is ownership. You need to open this door of ownership to your kids. And it doesn't matter if anyone else in your family has been an entrepreneur. It can start with your child.
And start that legacy that we talk about, that we, especially people of color, have not had the opportunity. This is the opportunity to leave that legacy, you know, for our children to leave it for their children. So, you know, there's just so many things. All right. You and I tell you, and this is my first time ever really talking to you, but girl, I tell you, kidsrulenow.org, go there, register for the Kids Rule Now KIDposium, the 5th annual, happening this Saturday at SVSU. It's going to be a time. If you know someone that needs to be a part of this, share this video with them, have them come back and watch it. And Rhonda, thank you so much for serving, because this is a service. This is, you know, you don't have to pour out and, you know, give all your knowledge like you do to these, you know, our future is really what you're doing. So thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Thank you. I really appreciate that you've given me this opportunity to talk about Kids Rule Now and the KIDposium, because I'm telling you, I could go on and on.
We both could, but thank you so much for this time. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you this Saturday at the Kids Rule Now 5th annual KIDposium at SVSU. Thank you, Miss Rhonda. I appreciate you. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.